Whatever took place in that apartment went horribly wrong, and she ended up beating and killing her, according to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. White then returned to South Carolina, where she confessed to authorities after she was pulled over and arrested. Tell us more about this twisted tale, Clarissa.
Yeah, this is one of those that is very odd in that she was there. It seems like she was there to rob the victim primarily, right? She was there to ransack the house. So I'm not sure how premeditated this really was, but things got out of hand. She ended up beating the victim, and then it looks like eventually strangled her, I think is the actual method of murder, and then hid her underneath the presents and left with her debit card. And the thing is, the victim trusted her already, right? Yeah. So O'Dowd trusted White with her PIN for the debit card for her to go out and get groceries for the two of them. She even paid White to do like odd jobs and stuff around the property. So she was already like charitably extending herself to this person. Yeah. And instead she used this against her and ended up murdering her.
Man, and she already had all the information she needed to,
she just could have taken the debit card.
Yeah, she could have done it when she wasn't looking. Yeah, and then, of course, did what she needed. Why the murder, though? Do you have an idea why she would murder her? I mean, other than it went wrong, it just seems it almost seems like a crime of passion in a lot of ways. Because, number one, it was a strangulation. Number two, just kind of hid the body under the Christmas tree. I mean, that's a big message. Merry Christmas. That whole thing.
I think. Oftentimes it's when someone is discovered. So maybe she got discovered as she was ransacking the apartment. Maybe the victim discovered that she had taken money out. Like she got a notification. Hey, money was taken out of your account, a large amount. And she confronted her because who has the debit card? Who has the PIN to the debit card? Well, it's not hard to. And thinking that, obviously someone steals from you. You go to confront them. You don't think they're imminently going to kill you over that, and my guess is that the woman, since she knew her so well, was like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. What are you doing here?
Don't be a jerkwad. Don't take my money.
As you're walking through this, I'm trying to kind of emotionally place myself, one possibility, I'd actually be interested to hear a little more, like what they found out at the trial and whatnot, but maybe she was just that embarrassed. Mm-hmm. She had taken advantage of this woman, and here she came back, and then she got caught, and it just she just couldn't bear it. She couldn't bear the shame of it.
And she actually said that when she talked about the crime to police, she said something, quote, went horribly wrong, and she confessed immediately. I think you're right, Eric. I think this was not premeditated. I think it was premeditated to rob her. Yeah. But maybe she came in and she was embarrassed. She was mortified. And how am I going to fess up to this, with cops, what's going to happen? A lot of people don't even want to think about it. So it escalates from there, and you can't do anything about it. So.
Yeah. Wow. Man, what a sad state of affairs, though, robbing her, of course, the lady that was doing her a favor by giving her money and doing odd jobs and trusting her with important information like her debit card PIN, really taking her in, and then using that kindness, or at least perceiving that kindness as weakness, and then killing her. And like Eric, I think you guys are right. It was more of a shame thing. Like she was so ashamed of herself and it went wrong and killed the lady. But really, what happened to her then? Was she look at the death penalty, life in prison? What happened to the perpetrator?
She got 45 years. So.
Oh, wow.
45 years flat. She is 67 already, and she was charged in 2013, it looks like. So she is probably going to leave in a box.
I was going to say she'll die in prison.
Yeah, she's going to leave prison in a box. And it's so sad for such small things. And I guess, like, you know what? This is weird, but it all kind of circles around to getting my identity stolen in this way. In that, in her case, right, she was stealing. She was ransacking an apartment. Big deal. She stole $500, then $500, so $1,000. I know that that's a lot of money for a lot of people, but in the grand scheme of life, big deal. And this is what I was trying to tell the kid that stole from me too, is that sometimes you don't control everything around you. In fact, you never do. You just control what you're doing. And when you introduce something like crime into it, you never know what's going to happen. And you can get caught up and violence occurs. And I think that happens more often than not.
People should watch Blood Simple. Remember that movie? It's the first Coen Brothers movies, right? Or the first big one anyway. And man, things just spiral out of control. One thing leads to another.
And more often than not, that's actually what I see. I'm, even with lifers, I'm not necessarily seeing hardcore, stone cold killers that planned everything. I'm seeing kids, I'm talking 20-something, early 20-somethings, maybe late teens, that go into a situation where they think, we're going to pull off this heist. And then the person's home, or the person introduces a weapon because they're trying to defend themselves. And then the kid is younger and stronger and full of adrenaline, and things go wrong. And it's like, just nothing is worth it. No property is worth it. So to all those people that, that's the thing, like, Christmas is kind of the season of stealing. It happens a lot around the Christmas holidays. Please just remember that nothing, I don't care what you ordered from Amazon, it is not worth your life. Not ever. So if you're being robbed, the best course of action, I know people are going to argue with me, but I'm telling you, statistically speaking, get out, leave your back door. Yeah,
that's true. You're right.
Who cares?
You're right. And and that's the thing. Another thing people don't think of it is, if you do, let's just say you decide that you are going to shoot the perpetrator, you may end up in prison.
Oh, absolutely.
For doing that, so it's not carte blanche. If they're in your house, you can just kill them.
No, and actually, that's actually best case scenario. The statistics prove out over and over again. Sorry, I'm a scientist. It's just my job. That if you introduce a firearm into the situation, if you don't know how to use it very well, and you don't know who exactly is in your house, the chances are it will be used against you. Your own gun. Get out. I don't care if you're 6'7" and you practice with that gun all the time. Leave with your life and your family.
Yeah, nothing's worth it.
And go Merry Christmas, robbers.
That's why you have insurance. That's why you have insurance.
Nothing is worth your family's life.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. And like this kid that stole from you, it might have been a turning point in his life to where he would have got help. I
very much hope so. I very much hope so. He's of the age and doesn't have the criminal history. And I called his probation officer. I'm going to continue to call his probation officer and check up on him. And I will say I shocked everyone at the courthouse. That was fun. They were absolutely shocked. Even the judge is like, oh, wow, okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
He's like, I've been doing this a lot of years. Nobody's ever done that. But I do believe in second chances, especially if nobody was physically injured. And I wasn't. It was $80. And I wanted to give the kid the message that this time it's $80. But what if next time it's somebody's life, or it's somebody that needed those $80 for medications that would save their life? You don't know what you're walking into. Keep that in mind. And if you had just knocked on my door and said, I'm indigent, I don't have anywhere to sleep, can you get me some help? Guess what? My answer would have been yes.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, too, is you get someone that's that young into the prison system, they learn from the veterans, don't they? The veteran.
Oh, God.
Cons,
I mean, just, Yeah, and I could tell he hadn't quite yet. Like I said, he was sitting next to some other guys, and his leg was tapping. Going. And he saw the reason I knew it was going to be okay, if this makes sense, is that he looked out into the gallery and he made eye contact with me, and he couldn't stop looking at me. He knew me right away. Yeah. I knew he knew I was his victim.
Yeah.
And that said to me, there's still hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, that young, so impressionable, they hit prison with the guys that have been doing it a long time. Yeah.
And you sitting there with them, you learn to become a better criminal. And I wanted him to know that, no, I'm not just a victim. I'm not just a pushover. And I'm not somebody that's just going to come up here and be mad at you, because that's easy. That's easy to do. I'm doing the hard thing, which is to say, why did you do this? You don't have anybody that's going to stick up for you? Fine. I will. Let's get past it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't want you to turn out like that. It's
well, yeah, because, I mean, that individual could easily become anyone in the story. I mean, these stories that we,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just, especially this last one where it spiraled so clearly out of control. Like you said, you introduce something into a situation, a firearm. You're right. The stats bore out that, yeah, you produce a gun, and you're not, it doesn't matter if you're at the range every day, you're not used to being in that situation to have to use that gun in that way.
No, and I mean, a lot of these, guys, like a lot of them are on drugs, right? And they're superhuman strength, if they're on meth, they're jacked up anyway. They have a lot of adrenaline running through them. Maybe you're just waking up. Maybe you don't know what's going on. You don't know who's in the house. You don't know how many there are.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and get out. I mean, a lot of guys don't want to do that because they're like, no, I'm going to protect myself, protect my property. Protect your family and leave.
Yeah.
Like that.
Again,
is the most
you're
important thing.
absolutely correct. And that's the thing. You have to use your head and understand it's just stuff. It's just stuff. That's all it is. They make TVs every day. They don't make families every day.
Yeah, exactly. And these people that can't get over that my family's moving on, with the family annihilators, like my family's moving on, they're doing something I don't agree with. Again, like 10 years from now, is that going to be important? No, what's going to be important is those people you argue with over the dinner table all the time.
Yeah.
You'll miss them when they're not there.
Yeah. And it's a very stressful time of the year for all families. You're not necessarily getting together with people you necessarily like. I mean,
What? Yeah, I know.
How many people could say, hey, man, I love my family. They're the greatest people on earth. Oh, hell no. There's a reason why we avoid each other most days of the year.
Yeah, exactly right. And then you feel like this pressure to who's giving the best gifts, who's doing better than so-and-so, who had to say they lost their job, and who's actually snickering about it. Like there's all these things that go on.
Then there's always the weird uncle.
Yeah, right. Where you're like, oh God, him again, that drinks too much. And there's a million different dynamics in families. But when you think about these stories, in these stories that happen over the holidays, like just remember, it's not about Black Friday and the best deal you can get. It's about looking at your wife, your kids, your husband, and your brother, the annoying parents, and knowing how much you actually do love them.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
That's true. That is true. That is really what does matter. And again, you can read more stories like this. If you're just tuning in and you really enjoyed what you heard tonight, visit thecriminalcode.com. That is Clarissa's website. Then you can check all that stuff out. More stories like this. A lot of cool true crime stuff there. And of course, we're always available for download. A Blog Talk Radio is our main home for this show. So visit us at Blog Talk Radio. Just simply search out After Hours AM, and you're going to find us there for download and have a lot of fun listening. All of the shows, we must have hundreds now, it seems, Eric, are up there for download. So enjoy it and play it. And heck, play it over your Christmas dinner. Why not? You can hear all about Christmas time debauchery while you're eating your ham. Think about that. That'd be a good time. Good time right there. That'd be awesome time. Now, remember, if you are not busy this coming Saturday, or even if you are, drop everything and head over to the Aurora School of Music.com, where you can help Eric out with the benefit that he's putting on in the name of his dad, Ray Olson, and he was a big champion of the arts in school. So make sure you check that out. Again, that is at the Aurora School of Music.com. Until next time, everyone, take care of each other, love each other, and just do the best you can, get through the holidays. We love you, and Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening to this edition of After Hours AM, and please remember to like us on Facebook and also follow us over on Twitter. This show has been produced